world. How does he change things, though? Because Forest, as we know, played with very little of the ball last season. They were quite pragmatic. Does Ange do little?
The only surprise for me that after he got the job that he couldn't drag it out after the Arsenal game. I think I would have said to Mr. Marinakis, is there any chance I can send it to my lawyers?
It's much better. Swansea and Burnley, Betis, that's much easier. Starting off with Arsenal.
You don't want to get beat off us, but look, it's a hiding to nothing for him. I mean, just go in there. Listen, he goes away. I'll tell you one thing. The last 3 days he's had training. Once he gets a few of them back from international duty, they would have run. They would have run like they've never run before because they are going to have to get the ball back very quickly. That's what he demands. Well, I can't see him being like Mickey van der Ven and Romero right on the halfway line. I think that Milinkovic at the back there hasn't got the pace to be able to do that. No. I think that Ange will twist. The guys know what he's doing, and I think it's good. A really encouraging appointment for Nottingham Forest. I really do. Yeah. I'm delighted to see him back. I thought it was a hard. People are screaming at us in the Premier League, but he made a decision very early out, probably January time, that the squad of players what Tottenham had could not perform and be competitive one to pick, because by winning it and getting the open top pass, you qualify for the Champions League. He's left them with a massive present, and it should be a statue of that man outside that football club alongside Daniel Lee.
Should have taken over.
Arteta, after a defeat, you want to have a game in the next 3 days, get it out of the system. But at the same time, I look at the players' international duties and how they've grown. I feel pride because they can lose a game and they can go to the national team, they can click again, perform, and most of them win, and they're very important. With Ange, his biggest strength, in my opinion, is the way he's been. He has put his fingerprints on that team, and he has a very clear way of playing, very clear DNA, and are extremely good to watch. I've learned a lot from him, and it will be a very difficult game. The moment the game starts, after 5 minutes, we will see very clear behaviours, what they want to do, and that's what we have prepared. Read every word from Michael's pre-match press conference post-Ekoglu. I don't see it as a point to prove. I don't have to prove anything to anyone. I do like my teams to play exciting football and score goals and get fans excited. I've got to convince every person in the building about what we're trying to do on the back of them doing something a certain way and having success that way. It is fair to say it's not going to happen overnight. It's a process that will take a little bit of time, but never at the expense of competitiveness. None of my beliefs are going to get in the way of us making sure the team is prepared to win on a Saturday. Bukayo Saka continues to be out of action after picking up a hamstring injury against Leeds United 3 weeks ago. William Saliba missed international duties with France courtesy of the ankle issue that forced him off against Liverpool, but he did train on Friday and could return. In more good news for Mikel Arteta, Christian Norgard and Ben White were also pictured back in training this week and could be fit enough to feature, but Kai Havertz and Gabriel Jesus are both missing with their knee injuries. Postecoglou's first-team selection won't include Oleksandr Zinchenko, as he's ineligible to make his Forest debut against his parent club, while his full-back options are limited further as Ola Aina picked up a hamstring injury playing for Nigeria on Monday and will be out for months. Meanwhile, Argentine midfielder Nicolas Donguez is also unavailable as he continues to recover from knee surgery back in May. Bukayo Saka continues to be out of action after picking up a hamstring injury against Leeds United 3 weeks ago. William Saliba missed international duties with France courtesy of the ankle issue that forced him off against Liverpool, but he did train on Friday and could return. In more good news for Mikel Arteta, Christian Norgard and Ben White were also pictured back in training this week and could be fit enough to feature, but Kai Havertz and Gabriel Jesus are both missing with their knee injuries. Postecoglou's first-team selection won't include Oleksandr Zinchenko, as he's ineligible to make his Forest debut against his parent club, while his full-back options are limited further as Ola Aina picked up a hamstring injury playing for Nigeria on Monday and will be out for months. Meanwhile, Argentine midfielder Nicolas Donguez is also unavailable as he continues to recover from knee surgery back in May. Adrian Clark, writing in the official matchday programme, Postecoglous' arrival should not impact Forest's usual 4-2-3-1 shape. He preferred a 4-3-3 at Spurs, but his expansive style is virtually the polar opposite of the compact, counter-attacking approach that worked so well under Nuno. Forest had already begun evolving their style of play. They averaged 57 possession in their first 3 games, and only Chelsea and Manchester City have made more successful passes. Last season, Forest ranked last in that department. However, Postecoglou's preference for holding a higher line could create uncertainty, and only 3 teams had faced more shots on target than Saturday's visitors, a sign they have not yet found harmony in their off-the-ball work. Wingers Dan Doy and Callum Hudson-Odoi are a handful, and the former has scored and assisted already, so his menace off the right flank will need to be contained. Pulling the strings in between those two is Morgan Gibbs-White. His eye for a killer pass is well known, so we must try to stop talismanic midfielder Elliot Anderson from feeding passes into his feet. Set pieces were a major asset for Forest in 2024-25 when they scored the most goals from dead balls. As it stands though, they have had the fewest attempts from set plays just for this season, while we may find joy against them in the air, as the Tricky Trees have faced 12-headed shots so far, the most in the division. We have won our last 6 home games against Nottingham Forest by an aggregate score of 19-2. We are unbeaten in 14 games on home soil against them since a 3-1 defeat back in March 1989. Forest have won just 2 out of 16 Premier League matches against us, and both wins came at the City Ground, in 1-9-9-6-9-7 and 2-0-2-2-2-3. Among current Premier League sides, only Fulham 12 are on a longer run without a clean sheet than Forest 11 away from home. Forest have gone 9 without a shutout since keeping 3 in a row in December and January last season. 2 of the 3 sides to make the most high-intensity pressures in the final third this season are Nottingham Forest 301, second, and ourselves 280, third, with Victor Gyokas 76, second, and Chris Wood 72, third, also in the top 3 among players for that metric. Forest have made the most passes ending in the final third this season for 71 and have played the most passes into the box 114 of any side. Forest also topped the charts for crosses 85 in 2025-26, with their average of 28.3 per game far higher than their average last season 16.3 per game.